One misconception people have about self-employment is that you can do whatever you want.
On today's episode of the Self-Employed Success Podcast, we'll be talking with Jeff Gapinski, a digital marketing expert who has built a successful global business from the ground up. Jeff is the founder and president of Humor, a company that specializes in creating websites that drive results for mid-market businesses. Let's start the show. You are listening to the Self-Employed Success Podcast. This is your source for inspiration, advice, and strategies for building financial independence without a traditional corporate job. Each episode features interviews with successful entrepreneurs, freelancers, and business owners who have achieved financial freedom through self-employment. Whether you're just starting out on your entrepreneurial journey or you're a seasoned pro looking for new ideas, this podcast will give you the tools and insights you need to create a life and business that you love. Join us as we explore the world of self-employment and learn how to build the income, the freedom, and fulfillment you deserve. Welcome to the show, Jeff. I'm so excited to have you on and talk about the lessons you've learned as a digital marketing expert.
Thank you for having me.
Before we dive into the beautiful work that you've done with big name clients such as NBC Sports, Geico, Live Nation, let's talk about your background, Jeff, and how you got started in this whole digital marketing world. What really led you to start your own business?
Absolutely. So like many entrepreneurs, I kind of grew up as a pretty creative individual, always kind of noodling around with this or that. I had a background in art, and that's what I originally went to school for, was actually to be an art teacher, and ended up transferring out of that program into a graphic design program. Started to pick up some freelancing opportunities when I was still in school to, pay the bills, keep things going. And ended up getting a referral to a pretty sizable account early on from one of my existing clients. It was a really great opportunity. It allowed me to start to put together a team because it was a greater project than what I was able to do myself. And the rest is kind of history. I did not expect to build the agency that I built when I started out on it, but I'm extremely thrilled that we are where we are today.
How fascinating is that? And, I always see this. Self-employment is a journey. You and I did not wake up like this yesterday, right? And I'm so glad that you walked us through your background from what you thought you were going to be to where you are today and how it evolved. And so I mentioned earlier that you had clients such as NBC Sports, Geico, Live Nation, and the title of this episode is Building a Global Business. And so how did you find a way attracting high-profile clients like this for your agency? What's your trick?
Yeah, so I'd love to say that there's some silver bullet that people can use, but it's a combination of things. So when I started this business, I was 22 years old. I did not have a long professional career to lean on. I did not have any agency experience under my belt. So the skills that I did have was the ability to do branding pretty effectively. I am a tinkerer, so learning different digital marketing skills early on was something that I did. So I was very self-taught in that sense. So everything that we did to build the agency early on is probably things that your listeners are capable of doing or would be in a similar situation than I was. So the first thing I focused on, above all, was creating a brand identity for my agency that I felt was going to be attractive to our target audience. So, we were out of the gate looking to work with, mid to enterprise level companies. We weren't trying to cater to, small businesses. So wanted to create a visual identity that spoke to that. And what that visual identity did was it made the outside world perceive us to be bigger and more sophisticated than we were. So early on, opportunities arose to speak with some of the clients that you mentioned. The perception was that we were a much larger, much more mature agency than we were. In reality, there's 6 of us working in a maybe like 600 square foot office in the middle of Farmingdale, Long Island. So it wasn't a sophisticated operation at that point. In terms of the specific clients that you mentioned, there were actually a few different ways that they came to find us. So one way was, introductions from prior clients and kind of working those relationships. The client I mentioned in the intro is a client in the cosmetic space. And because of my work with them, they introduced me to another company in the cosmetic space. And then from there, I was introduced to Revlon. And we've had a very lucrative relationship with them over the years, working with a number of different sub-brands. For other companies like NBC Sports, we actually had the opportunity to work through them through another agency. So we had connections with a larger agency that subcontracted us to do some larger engagements with them. And for somebody from Libation, we actually have paid sponsorships on industry sites. We had gotten to the point where we were able to afford that type of marketing. And that's actually how they found us. And we worked with their B2B division. But in general, the key, I think, is like creating that solid brand foundation, right? And having that kind of be the premise of everything that you do. And then another thing I like to talk about is long-term and short-term strategies from a marketing perspective. So long-term strategies would be, content marketing or creating a podcast like you've done. These are things that build brand equity over time and are things that once you get going, they're relatively low cost to produce, but they have high ROI. The challenge is that it just takes a lot of time to build the content and to build the authority. So that's something that you want to work on, but you also need to be able to drive pipeline early on and pay your bills. So short-term strategies could be things like paid Google ads or cold outreach, things that create more of a direct response right now. And any successful business should have a combination of those things going on at any given moment. As you grow and scale in size, the number of those things will probably increase. But I always suggest that people start small, focus on one thing in each category, and kind of go from there.
Do you have any suggestion as to how you stay on top of your industry trends and making sure that you remain competitive in this fast-paced environment that we are living in?
So I am a big podcast listener myself. There's a number of different shows that I subscribe to, and I feel like some of the ones that I subscribe to are kind of talking more about what's going on in the industry right now and a number of different marketing topics. And I feel like that's always a great resource to just consume information and kind of think through new ideas. I find it to be a lot more relevant than reading marketing books because I feel like every time a marketing book is published, it's already out of date. And I would say Twitter and LinkedIn have actually been great resources as well. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get more active on Twitter, but I feel like if you're following the right individuals there, you can get a lot of really interesting stuff on your radar.
Love it. I agree. Most recently, I reactivated my Twitter account. It was dormant for years thinking, there's nothing going on Twitter. But in fact, it's actually a great platform. I agree in regards to making sure that you stay on top of your industry. I'd love to add, and let me know if you agree with this, Jeff, Google Alerts, Google Trends. What do you think about those tools?
So I don't personally use them, but I do know a lot of people who do successfully. My inbox is always exploding as it is, so I try to avoid the alerts.
I love it. Yeah, they can definitely overwhelm your inbox for sure, even though we do have the opportunity to adjust the cadence as to how they come in. But you're right, it's definitely, it could be a lot. And so tell us a little bit about your agency as far as what it offers and potentially be of service to us self-employed individuals.
Sure. So Humor is a digital agency. We specialize in building really effective, really attractive websites. That's our bread and butter as a company. It's what we've grown to be known for. And what we do really well is kind of operate on the intersection of really attractive design and KPI focused sites. So some agencies may do a good job at creating really beautiful websites that don't convert. Other agencies might do a really good job of creating high converting sites that don't look all that great. We do our best to kind of blend those two things together. And I think it's what makes us different. And I think it's what drives a lot of the results that we're able to drive for our clients.
To learn more about Jeff and his business, Humor the Agency, visit the show notes. The links are in there, and I appreciate you listening through. Make sure that you leave us a review, and if this is your first time visiting us, subscribe, tell a friend. I truly appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Self-Employed Success Podcast. Have you ever wanted to create professional-looking videos but found the process too time-consuming and complicated? Totally get it. I was there too. Well, I have some exciting news for you. I recently discovered BigView Video Editor, and it has completely transformed the way I create my videos. With BigView, you and I can make our videos straight to the point, engaging, and professional in just minutes. BigView's AI technology has made it possible for you and I to create 10 times more videos in a fraction of the time it usually takes us. And the best part is, with their video teleprompter app and video editor, you can capture multiple video takes, choose the best one for your video marketing or your vlog, and you can add automatic subtitles, social media closed captions, and so much more. Wait, there's actually more. The best part, it's incredibly easy to use, and you can shoot and edit your videos on the go with just your phone, or you could do it on your desktop. And so if you're ready to streamline your video creation process just like I have and start making amazing videos that connect with your audience, then you need to check out BigView Video Editor just like I did. And I have a best part about it again. You can try it for free. Just head over to the show notes of this episode to get the link to sign up and start creating your own amazing videos today.